A core aspect of software engineering is the subdivision of the development process into a series of phases or steps, each of which focuses on one aspect of the development. The collection of these steps is sometimes referred to as the Software Development Lifecycle, or SDLC. The software product moves through this lifecycle, sometimes repeatedly as it is refined or redeveloped, until it is finally retired from use. Ideally, each phase in the lifecycle can be checked for correctness before moving on to the next phase. Software Development Lifecycle Waterfall. Let us start with an overview of the waterfall model, such as you will find in most software engineering textbooks. This waterfall illustrates a general waterfall model that could apply to any computer system development. It shows the process as a strict sequence of steps where the output of one step is the input to the next, and all of one step has to be completed before moving on to the next. We can use the waterfall process as a means of identifying the tasks that are required, together with the input and output for each activity. What is important is the scope of the activities, which can be summarized as follows. Establishing requirements involves consultation with and agreement among stakeholders about what they want from a system, expressed as a statement of requirements. Analysis starts by considering the statement of requirements and finishes by producing a system specification. The specification is a formal representation of what a system should do, expressed in terms that are independent of how it may be realized. Design begins with a system specification, produces design documents, and provides a detailed description of how a system should be constructed. Implementation is the construction of a computer system according to a given design document, and taking into account the environment in which the system will be operating, example, specific hardware or software available for the development. Implementation may be staged, usually with an initial system that can be validated and tested before a final system is released for use. Testing compares the implemented system against the design documents and requirements specification and produces an acceptance report, or more usually a list of errors and bugs that require a review of the analysis, design, and implementation processes to correct. Testing is usually the task that leads to the waterfall model iterating through the life cycle. Maintenance involves dealing with changes in the requirements or the implementation environment, bug fixing, or porting of the system to new environments. Example, migrating a system from a standalone PC to a Unix workstation or a networked environment. Since maintenance involves the analysis of the changes required, design of a solution, implementation and testing of that solution over the lifetime of a maintained software system, the waterfall lifecycle will be repeatedly revisited. Database lifecycle. We can use the waterfall cycle as the basis for a model of database development that incorporates three assumptions. We can separate the development of a database, that is, specification and creation of a schema to define data in a database, from the user processes that make use of the database. We can use the three schema architecture as a basis for distinguishing the activities associated with a schema. We can represent the constraints to enforce the semantics of the data once within a database, rather than within every user process that uses the data. The first step is requirements gathering. During this step, the database designers have to interview the customers or database users to understand the proposed system and obtain, including documenting the data and functional requirements. The result of this step is a document that includes the detailed requirements provided by the users. Establishing requirements involves consultation with